Alrighty, hello everybody, this is Kirusho here. Now, when we last left off, I do believe I did explain that Deku was 8 years old. Now, I'm going to be trying to do a little bit of a gradual time skip throughout the years, so bear with me if this episode is a bit about trying to fix the age. Now, Deku is 8 years old, and he just got done with school. In fact, him, Bakugo, Toru, and a lot of the other conduits do have plans to hang out. In fact, they were essentially brought together by All Might, Endeavor, and some other heroes, like Bastionist. They're basically monitoring special... hang on. Okay, sorry about that. He does have plans on hanging out with everyone. In fact, he is kind of confused at what Kendo's conduit was. So, he wants to figure that out. Now, he would actually immediately go to take off, and he starts running. As soon as he gets to the top of the roof, he immediately just sees that Toru is actually there too, as she is also using her neon. He immediately starts running, and they're both racing to the same facility. They would get there, and this is whenever Deku, he sees that everyone's already talking, and Kirishima's actually somewhat working on another one of his abilities. He's able to actually use that giant hulking gauntlet he made last time, but he's actually doing a lot better than in the simulation. Huh. Exactly how far can you go with that thing? Oh, this. Well, even though I can use my hardening quirk, it's good to have an extra layer of armor. As he immediately just shows that he can harden his skin to a good point, but nowhere near good enough to be considered very, very defensive. It's basically like punching a wall, but you can get through it very easily. Deku would just say that, well, you could try training that. I think Bakugo can help you. Oh, you think so? Well, yeah, you said that this is basically a hardening quirk, right? Well, the harder you punch it, the harder you should get, right? I never really thought about it like that. As Todoroki walks in, he would just say that, well, this should be fine, but he does have one question about Deku. Why exactly is it that his conduit allows him to absorb other ones? Oh, I don't absorb them. What do you mean? As Deku immediately holds out his hand, he would shoot a neon shot into the wall, saying that that is neon. Toru gave him this ability, but she still has it. I basically copy and paste them onto my own. Oh, so I get it. It's like... Well, it's like you stockpile them, right? Well, I mean, I guess so, but I can only use one at a time. In fact, I mainly use neon. What? Why? Well, it's easy. I can paint with it, I can do all this weird stuff with it. Even then, I'm working on trying to increase my running speed. I'm basically like a ball of neon light. I should be moving faster. Toru would just say that that makes sense, but increasing it's kind of weird. Go too fast, you lose friction. Okay, I'm not sure what that means. Yeah, you'll find out one day. Hopefully I'm there when you do. As she says this is when Rakinda would walk in and say that this is no time for that. As she goes on stating that you guys need to actually learn properly how to do certain things. Endeavor would just say that that is very true, but they also are. You are also still children. We should not push you to certain lengths because I've seen I've seen what it has done to one of mine. Basically, this is Endeavor learning about everything he's done and how it affected Dobby. Meaning he's not a shitty dad. Now then, Deku, he quite simply would just ask exactly what are their conduits. Deku would just say that. Well, Kendo would just say that her conduit is. I'm trying to think of a good conduit. Hang on. Alrighty, I got it figured out now. Took me a minute, but I also did find some other things and ideas I wrote down. Deku just asked her what her conduit is, and Kendo would just say, try and hit her. As Deku just thinks, okay. He comes in to throw a punch, but as soon as he does, his hand immediately just goes straight through her. This confuses him as he pulls it backwards. He sees that her body is very wavy and moving like mist. He just says, what is this? And she would just say that her conduit, she calls it air. Basically, she's able to turn her entire body into air and actually fly like this. So it's not really that big of a stretch. Not just that, but this also allows her to use her quirk at a very, very max potential. With she can quite simply just move the air around her fist, helping decrease the weight, as she would show off her giant hand quirk. Now, afterwards, they would all be in training, and they would do so for the next couple years. Well, probably a year into this training, Deku has already been able to unlock certain things about certain abilities. Now, what I mean by that is, he would have eventually learned how to use the barrage attacks. Basically, he would have learned how to use like a neon shotgun blast where he just forces as much neon in one direction as possible. And he would have been eventually learned how to be able to shoot the missiles. Now, everyone is talking, and this is whenever Deku, he would actually ask Kendo if he can actually copy her conduit. She would just say that he can, it's just you learning how to use it's a bit more difficult. As the first time she did, it was very hard. In fact, she thinks she may have ripped herself apart, but she was able to put herself back together. What do you mean, rip yourself apart? Well, during the blast, it kinda threw my atoms in every single direction. So, you got ripped apart? Like, no, it's not like that at all. The wind kind of carried me away, I think. Oh, I get it now. Yeah, but I think they were still close knit together to at least find each other. That makes sense. As Deku copies her conduit, he would learn a bit more about Kendo, along with actually a lot of the abilities she's been able to use. Ignore that. Don't question that. Anyways, after that, this is whenever Deku, he would actually immediately stand up, and he would find that his legs feel funny. He looks down and he sees that they're starting to go into the ground. As he immediately just thinks that that's not good, he would actually try and move. As soon as he does, he immediately just air dashes forwards, going straight through Kendo and actually hitting a wall. Now then, he's actually trying to figure a lot of these abilities out, and it's very, very stupid and confusing to him. Eventually, he would be able to somewhat control them, but now he has another problem. They are all being transferred into the same school. The fact that Todoroki, he has quite simply said that he would rather not have his conduit copied. But Deku, he would just say that it would be very easy just to do it, but he respects his wishes. So he would just wear gloves anytime he's around Todoroki, just to at least show that he does respect his decision. So, Deku would be able to use these abilities, and he would find that everything is somewhat a lot better. The fact is, people are starting to talk less about conduits and seeing them less as terrorists. Seeing them as more of the victims of certain things, but thinking that people still do set off those bombs, thinking they can awaken conduit abilities. Because they are either dissatisfied with their quirk, or they just don't have one at all. Now, Deku and Bakugo, they're both chilling out at school and everything's all fine. Everyone's at the table and they're actually talking. People are watching as they're just thinking that, oh, aren't those the strongest people in school? Yeah, are they? Why are they all eating together? I don't know, but that one guy with the prosthetics, kind of weird. Deku would immediately turn his head and people are thinking, wait, did he hear me? As he would just say that, it's not nice to make fun of people who are in accidents. As Deku immediately just switches to air, he would bring his hand up. As the kid's lunch would come flying into his face, knocking him out of his seat. And Deku would immediately turn his head. People are trying to say that Deku actually did that, but Deku would just say that that was air. He has, as he would hold up his hand, neon. My quirk only allows me to switch to one ability at a time. Even then, as he would lie through his teeth saying that he cannot do so within 5 minutes of having it activated. Which is just clear bullshit. They would just believe him, as everyone else would just hold on to this, as Deku would immediately start bursting into laughter after they get done with lunch. Everyone is trying their hardest not to, but Deku still just cannot hold it. As Baku would just say, I could have handled that myself. Deku would just say, alright, well, I guess I just saved you the trouble then, jackass. Okay, dumbass. Ooh, fake laugh, hiding real pain. As they would all leave for the day. Now then. Everyone is talking and getting used to their new abilities and powers. And people are actually seeing that conduits, well, not conduits, but certain people with certain conduits do not actually have these ill will towards people that they thought. Hang on. Alrighty, now then. After that, getting done with school for the day, Deku is thinking that today's been pretty good, but he wishes that he at least could know a bit more about this ability, as he's not thinking on his whole smoke. He would switch to it, and he's trying to remember exactly how he got it. If he came into contact with someone with a smoke ability, then why doesn't he have the memory of it? This is very confusing to him now, as he's trying to remember. He gets a small glimpse of something before there is a loud explosion. Deku turns his head and he sees a giant blast. As he sees this, he immediately just shouts to everyone in class to get down. As they see what's going on behind him, everyone would duck, and the building would be hit with a full brunt of the blast. As everyone gets back up, they are trying to shake everything off, and people are actually not having. Some people cannot hear. Bakugo is shaking Deku back into focus, telling him with hand signs that it happened again. Now, everyone will be running over there to try and figure out what's going on. Deku's running, as Todoroki's actually getting Kirishima to use his new ability. Over time, he learned that he can break down the ground around him and essentially walk like stairs. But doing so, he essentially stays suspended in air. So Kirishima would just grab Todoroki, and they would all go like this. Now, they would all arrive, and they would see that All Might is there, along with a man who is holding a strange device. As this happened, the man would immediately just say that it worked. It worked. As he holds up his hands, sparking them full of electricity, saying that he cannot believe that this finally happened and it finally worked. Huh. So this is what power feels like. But I guess you wouldn't know, All Might. You've never been powerless. Sir, I'm telling you, please put that device down. What you just did killed a lot of people. It killed people? No, I just wanted power. That can't be right. Sir, I am telling you that what you just did was very villainous. Now please turn yourself in. I just wanted power. I didn't mean to. As he's saying that, All Might would see that the entire group is standing on the top of the building. Deku, he immediately tries rushing in, and he immediately starts using Paper Trail. As he immediately just disappears, he reappears right behind the man, as he is now swimming with paper. The man immediately turns around as Deku tries grabbing him. He immediately shoots Deku with as much voltage as he can, and Deku goes flying backwards into a wall. As everyone saw this, the man would just start losing control, zapping and throwing around as much electricity as possible. While this is happening, Deku, he would get back up, finding that he just got more pissed off. Why can't people ever just stop trying to go for more power? Kid, you don't understand. How can I not? You don't know what I am? I'm a conduit. Wait, you too? Yes, of course I am. Who do you think everyone up there is? As he sees the kid standing on top of the roof. Conduit children? That can't be right. Oh no, but it is, sir. In fact, let me tell you something. What was it? 6, if not 5 years ago. The explosions that went off in this town killed about 12,000 people. Along with my dad. So, oh, no, dang it. Okay, along with my dad. So, what you just did probably killed another couple thousand. 1,000? No. Well, listen. I can help you. All Might can help you. You just need to turn yourself in. As Deku gets close enough to the man would immediately just say, okay, as he would turn himself in and hand over the device to All Might. All Might would actually talk with the man and say that, with all due respect, I do know what it's like being powerless. My quirk didn't. Oh, my abilities were a bit late, so I could understand more than anyone else. Now then, All Might. Yeah. All Might would have eventually talked with the man, and the media would have caught wind of these conduit children. Because, let's be honest, people always broadcast hero fights. Along with the fact that now people think Bakugo is a conduit. Now, after this, the man would eventually get questioned by police, and whenever they cannot find information, All Might would just say that he essentially knows someone who can get information from this man that they are missing. As Deku would come into the station, and he would just take off his glove. He would ask the man if he has his permission to copy his conduit, and the man would just ask if this means he's going to take his power. Deku would just say no, but it means that he'll be able to use it. But he will not be any weaker. But this ability does allow me to peer into your head and get the information that you are missing, if not those extra details. Now, Facum, let's say that he is here and he's actually watching this, and he's quite surprised that they finally let the kid out. And he would see as Deku copies his abilities, he immediately just turns in to a human lightning rod. With the fact being, as soon as he did it, he actually started sparking with a lot of different electricity. Somewhat like that. Now, as soon as that happened, Deku would give the explanation that it was the man he saw in the simulation once again, with his glowing eyes, and the fact was, this time, he thinks he saw one of his hands. But it was very tricky. The man did wear gloves, along with the fact that he made sure he does not show anything extra. But he did get a little bit more than last time. Also, somewhere near a location where the man met this one. Apparently, online message boards are good for people who want power. They would either buy Quirk Enhancer and take as much as possible, hoping to awaken a Quirk and OD, or go through this little experiment and kill thousands, awakening an ability. Now then, that sounded somewhat dark, but it's true. Because I feel like it's a person without a quirk, if they had parents with quirks, if they took like as much quirk enhancement as possible, they would eventually force an awakening. It seems like it would happen. Anyway, guys, I do hope you enjoyed the video, and have an amazing day.